students, parents, and teachers. It's really an honor. I'm a kind of relaxed parent. I don't even know my son's class number. When the teacher asked me which class he is, I just know he's grade 11. As he bring ID, and I didn't even know the number of the class. I came here representing a group of people which is maybe very minor in this society, which we call scientists. And I actually have a colleague, Ming Lei, sitting in the audience. Ming is also my colleague and my good friend. I feel a little bit embarrassed because my slides are not well polished and well prepared than the previous speakers. So especially the students and the past SID graduates, you guys are all in it, well prepared and very nice points. So I'm a little bit stochastic as a scientist. So we usually don't follow very clear paths. I don't even know, what I'm going to speak. I have slides, but I actually don't really know, what I'm going to talk in the following slides. So, okay, let me start with something kind of certain, which is where I work and what subject I'm studying. So I'm from an institution called Shanghai Institute of Biochemistry and Cell Biology, which is one of the institutions belonging to Chinese Academy of Sciences. So this organization is really huge. You have over 100 institutes all over the country. And the best institute in biology is mainly localized in Shanghai. So ours are called biochemistry and cell biology. So we basically study every aspect from molecules to human being, disease in this institute. It's not too many people. We have different units, about 70 units study all disciplines in biology. So it's basically a world-leading biological institution. So we do a lot of cutting-edge basic research, and also we translate our research findings to some medicine. Okay, so I will briefly go through my own research, and then I will want to share some moment that changed my thinking and changed my career path and changed my work habit. That was very unexpected, and still this moment like permanently reshaped my mind. So I think it brings a lot of benefits to my own career. Okay, I will start with my studying subjects. So I'm studying human immune systems. So immune system is very important. And the previous talks, you already heard about neuroscience. But equally important is your immune system. Without this, you will not have health. So the most important elements in the immune system are those functional cell types. So you see at the corner the different type of cells, T cells, B cells. Those cells I don't want to read all those through all the cell types, but they are very important. They are warriors that circulate in your body, in the blood vessel, in the lymphatic vessel, to try to find anything non-self. If they find anything non-self, they recognize the danger and eliminate those invaders. Those invaders can include pathogens or those mutated genes, such as tumor cells, those we often call the transformed cells. Okay, so how the immune cell can recognize those non-self signals? So just use the example T cells. So why we call it T cell? T comes from the letter of thymus. Thymus is one of our organs that generate T cells. So that's why we call this type of white blood cell called a T cell. T cell, the job of T cell is to destroy infection and cancer. And it counts on many molecules expressed on the T cell surface. And these receptors, we call them receptors, they receive signals and then mediate the triggering of the T cell activity and that lead to different immune responses. So I will leave this as it, because it will be too professional. So what I want to really highlight today is how do we outperform AI at this stage. So many people is worried that AI technology is going to change the whole human society. Many jobs will disappear. And what are we going to do in the future? So as a scientist, I didn't really feel the threat in the past. So that doesn't mean I don't use AI. I use AI in daily life. I usually use AI to polish my manuscript or write some quick summary. So I think at the current stage, AI technology is very useful in some aspects, like language models, because AI depends on large data sets. So you need to have sufficient data to train AI, and then AI can help you. Otherwise, AI will just give you some illusions that often we feel. Like if I ask AI, what is the most important immunological question in the field? And can you give me literatures? No, AI will not give me the correct answer. You give me answers, and you look at this long list of the publications, and you try to find them. They're all false information. So those is a problem in AI. It gave illusion. So I think in some areas, AI is not able to replace human, and the science is one of those fields. So especially for the frontiers of science. So we have very little information, and the scientist is going to explore the unknown and try to find some trace information and propose an idea, and then perform experiment, try to prove and disapprove this idea. So we collect very tiny little bit information here and there and try to think in a big picture. So in this perspective, I think AI is not going to replace scientists easily. So what are the frontiers of biology? So just to give you some examples. Of course, I'm an immunologist. I want to say, can you harness the immune system to treat diseases? So if in 10 years ago, if you ask a physician that how do you treat a cancer patient, usually they give you very conventional solutions. Like you will go to surgery, chemotherapy, radiotherapy, or more advanced is target therapy. But currently, they often give you a solution of immune therapy. So now the number one selling drug in the world is called PD-1 antibody. This mechanism of this drug is to reactivate T cell response to tumor, to let your own immune system to destroy the tumor cells. So there's many unknown in the immune system, many drug targets that you can discover and also develop therapeutics. So immune therapy will be a very promising direction in the future. Of course, when you think about the pandemics, host-pathogen interaction is always a problem. Okay, although you kind of say we have very advanced technology, but when you think about the pandemics, the development speed of the vaccine, and how this country deals with the pandemic, still you have control in a very conventional way. You have to lock down the city. So that reflects that we are still far away in science to understand how the pathogen interact with human. And of course, human brain and AI technology will be one of the major driving forces in biology And I just want to mention that instead of understanding the world, you want to create the world, create something that never exists in evolution, which is we do de novo design of biological molecules. So such as you give design a protein, this protein never exists in the world, and you empower this protein with some novel functions. Try to use this function to change the world. And next generation drug will no longer be a pill, it will be life cell medicine. So the doctor will supply to you with a drug of living cells, and the cells will be infused into your body, and they will live, hopefully for a long time, to control the disease. So there's many other directions. I feel very excited when I think about the frontiers. All these frontiers cannot be replaced by AI, and the human is still there, and being the driving force of these new directions. The next, I want to share something that changed my working style. So I was at a very remote university in Europe. That place is called Hasselt, University of Hasselt. So the place is at the border of Belgium, Netherlands, and Germany. And the university locates in a remote region that's surrounded by farms. And I see many cows, horses, during my ride to work. And this place, do not allow you to work on Sunday. So if you, I even trigger a university alert at Saturday after 3 p.m. Supposedly everyone needs to leave the campus before 3 p.m. You keep staying, you will trigger the alerts. So that day I actually work a little bit over hour and then trigger the alert. So no work in Sunday at all. And every day you will have the morning coffee break, the afternoon coffee break, and plenty of time sitting outside, drink coffee, talk with your colleague. And this is not too bad because during the daytime, I'm surrounded by my scientific colleagues. I can talk with them. They usually speak very well English. So, but the problem is after work. So I ride back to home. My place is in a very remote house at the edge of the forest. So I was living in a very beautiful house, have a very nice garden. Usually I arrived at before 6 p.m. I cook, usually a very easy meal, like a spaghetti or a burger. And then after that, I have nothing to do, okay? And there's no English TV because it's Dutch-speaking region. So, and the people are so proud of their culture. They don't usually speak too much, but they speak very fluent English, that's no doubt. But there's no TV channel speaking English. So unfortunately, I'm a visitor student there, so I don't learn enough language to understand Dutch. So what I'm going to do, during that time, usually after meal, I will take a walk to the canal. There's a beautiful canal next to my house. I was sitting at the canal, at the shore, and then look at the ships pass by and watch the sunset. And after that, I will return to my room. Still plenty of time to spend. Okay, maybe 3 hours before my bed. So what I'm going to do is I start to pick up reading a lot. So you have to basically. Yeah, so I think at this time of period, students are so busy. And the 3 previous talks are emphasizing about difficulties. So we are facing stress, difficulties every day, and failure. So I think that is, you have to live through this and you become stronger and stronger, that's no doubt. Sometimes you need to relax, to be relaxed. You need the luxury of time. I think the most important thing in your life is time, right? So you need to slow down and give your brain some break. And for example, like take a walk in this very beautiful campus instead of listen to my lecture, actually. I will encourage you to go out more, see the sun and the flowers, trees. So talking about the spare time, so I start to read very broadly. It's a whole field, about the whole field of research, and print out all these papers and go back home, spend at least three hours of reading before my bed. I start to think. You spontaneously engage some thinking because when you read literatures, read publications, they are not always consistent. Some people say this, some people say no, this is not true. And you start to look into the very details. And those details cannot tell by AI, basically. Your brain starts to think and look at this very different, tiny little bit of information, and you compare, and you think, you develop your hypothesis. Okay, I will give you an example. That was the first ever paper I published in my career, 2003. So this publication is not a data paper, it's an analysis. Like my field in my graduate students is to understand how natural toxins from venomous animals like snake, spider, scorpions, how they produce toxins to hurt your brain or hurt your neural systems. So basically, your neural activity is controlled by ions, okay, like sodium, potassium, calcium, and these ions. So in your cells, there's many ion channels that regulates the flux of the ions. But those toxic animals that produce small peptides, small proteins, that are actually very stable. You even boil it, you cannot destroy the proteins. But that's small peptide, they can block the channel, therefore change your neural activity, cause problems. Okay, so through my analysis, I spent like 3 months in a remote university, and I, after tons of reading, I start to propose a model which lead to a publication. So the model is now, if you look back, it's very simple. What I'm thinking is, there's 2 types of the toxins. One is use this side chain of its amino acid as a plug, directly block the main entry of the ion channel. Another is like a cover to cover the outside of the channel. And this blockade is not as efficient this way because you 100% block the flux. Well, that is lead to like about less than 90% of blockade. And the behavior of these two types of toxins are very different in neurological behavior. So that is my first ever publication. I want to use this as evidence that when you have plenty of time, it's not always a bad thing, okay? You never know. When you start to read and think, you may encounter something you never planned. So here is my last slide. I want to give some tips. Because why I say less game, less social media, less short video, because that is when you do online meetings, right? You talk with people and you find this very efficient. Of course, it saves your travel time, but it's not as efficient as in-person meeting. That I always feel. The best idea I get, this is always true. It's during the discussion with people. So that's why you need to go to in-person meetings, talk with people. So, when we have spare time, now you don't usually do to read a book. You usually do, take your phone and you get to the social media, talk with your friend, or play games, or watch short videos. So please, give your brain some spare time and unleash your creativity. Okay, because you never know. You only use very small part of our brain power. But those power can only be unleashed when you are relaxed. If you are super stressed out, you're not going to unleash his potent capabilities. So, and also I will encourage reading books, not always on the phone or iPad. You just read a real book. The way I always find when you read a hard copy, you can engage random reading, right? You read here, read there, and you can go page 1 to page 100. It's very easy. But if you electronic book, you have to go down all the way down to page 100. That's a pain, right? So paper reading gives you flexibility. So that I want to bring you some different point of view from a scientist, because scientists are usually very flexible, stochastic, and very minor in the society. But you sort of need a scientist to change the world, to push the leading edge of the border. And I hope I leave you with this tips. My talks is not well prepared. I just talk, following my interaction with the audience. So hopefully it's not too stochastic. And if you would have any question, you probably can Google me and send me an email. Or you can talk with my son, Jonathan Xu. He will bring the message back home. Thank you so much.